That night at Revolution of Skirts, the air smelled of expensive perfume, Egyptian wine, and pure ego. Cleopatra arrived late, as always, because queens don't arrive, they make an entrance. She wore a golden dress so shiny that even the café lights dimmed out of respect. Her cat Bastet the Second strutted in beside her, looking like a furry tax collector. Apologies for the delay, she said, adjusting her invisible crown. I had to settle an international conflict with my reflection. Frida didn't even look up from her painting. And who won this time? Cleopatra smiled serenely. We tied my reflection is the only rival worthy of me. Magdalene, already on her second glass of wine. Laugh please, if your reflection paid taxes, Egypt would still be a world power. Cleopatra crossed her legs like geometry and sighed, the kind of sigh that carried the weight of the Nile. Ladies, she said dramatically, you have no idea how hard it is to be a myth with good lighting. Everyone thinks beauty is a blessing. She continued, twirling her wine like it was a scepter. But it's a life sentence, a prison of perfect eyeliner. Since I was 14, men have confused me with the concept of desire itself. Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, not one of them ever asked my favorite color. And none of them cared about my cats, and they were smarter than my lovers and cleaner. Frida burst out laughing. Oh, please, darling, entire armies marched for you. Cleopatra raised an eyebrow, yes, they marched, but none brought flowers. I asked one for roses, he sent me a legion. Frida took a drag from her cigarette. That's why I prefer dogs, they're loyal, not jealous. Cleopatra looked at her with regal pity. My dear, loyalty is for tired goddesses. I prefer admiration, it's quieter but far more flattering. Joan of Arc hit the table with her helmet. I prefer respect. Cleopatra patted her hand gently. Oh, sweet Joan, respect only comes when you're dead and canonized. Beauty, on the other hand, gets you discounts at the market. The cafe roared with laughter. And do you know what's worse? Cleopatra went on, her voice dripping with honey and sarcasm. History! They wrote more about my lips than about my laws. I ruled an empire, for heaven's sake. But no one remembers I spoke 9 languages. They just remember I kissed 2 Romans, as if diplomacy and pleasure were mutually exclusive. Maria Callas nodded from her corner. I understand, darling. They love me for the tragedy, not the technique. Cleopatra lifted her glass in salute. Then let's drink to women with emotional resumes and unrecognized degrees. Magdalene toasted to those of us who kissed history and survived the scandal. Frida, always finding art in chaos, asked, and your cats, Cleo? Still your royal advisors. Cleopatra sighed deeply. Ah, my cats. My true court in Egypt, the cat was sacred. In Buenos Aires, they just charged me for scratching the furniture. Bastet the Second has more attitude than Mark Antony. I named him that because Bastet the First left me for a neighbor who fed him imported tuna. Evita nearly spilled her champagne laughing. They broke Cleopatra's heart. Cleopatra smiled with elegance. Darling, no one breaks my heart. They just redecorate my ego. By the 3rd glass of wine, she wasn't talking anymore. She was performing beauty. She declared is a cold war with your mirror. Every morning it looks at me and says, you're not ready to conquer Rome today. And I reply, Rome was never the problem, sweetheart. The problem was the emotional maintenance of Romans. Frida threw her a napkin. That's going on the mural. Cleopatra signed it. Put it under my portrait, please. Around midnight, Cleopatra climbed onto the table. Naturally. I'm not just a face on a coin, she announced. I'm the queen who invented drama and sold it wholesale. They say I killed myself for love lies. I simply fell asleep with style. And if I ever return to Egypt, the first thing I do is nationalize makeup and declare eyeliner a cultural treasure. We all applauded. Cleopatra raised her glass one last time and said with a sphinx-like smile, if they ever judge me for being beautiful, I'll say beauty was my religion, and my cats, my prophets. When When she finally left, her perfume stayed in the air like incense. Bastet the Second jumped onto the bar, looked around the cafe and flicked his tail like a royal decree. Frida whispered, he definitely inherited her attitude. I smiled, because deep down we all knew Cleopatra was right. Some women are born to rule kingdoms, and others, like her, are born to rule mirrors.